Thank you. The students I like it when you throw it back at me, right? They know that by now. Welcome to Red Hat. I am Jamie Chappell, and I am the very proud CO.LAB moderator. So CO.LAB started last year in Boston City Plaza. Some of you were there, including Mayor Walsh. And our goal then was to teach middle school girls about the power of open source and collaboration. Now, since then, we've made 3 more stops. We were in New York City, then DC, then Raleigh, until finally we're here back with you. But clearly this CO.LAB is very different, right? The last time, Mayor Walsh, you were in a trailer with us, seeing cameras made from Raspberry Pis, and here today we've got backpacks and Legos and, signal success, learning about themselves, right? So I can tell you, though, with this first-time experience of having high school students here with us, and the first time we have presented this curriculum, that you all should be very proud of how they've represented the Boston Public Schools. Now with that, I hope you'll join me in welcoming Boston's Chief of Education, Ron Dorsey.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jamie. And I had to tell Jamie first thing this morning how big a fan I am. I was here for a little while on Tuesday, and I was mesmerized. In part because I thought that I was seeing the future of learning in action. I mean, it was young people participating in things that are of interest to them, the topics that they like, the activities that they already do when they're not in school, but sometimes put to the side until they get back home or until they get back to that after-school program. We saw them bringing their full selves to the experience, bringing the background knowledge that they already had about technology and coding to a discussion that, I will admit to you, lost a whole lot of adults in the room very quickly, but it's a testament to their brilliance. It also asked them to make things that are of value immediately. And so what we know about great learning is that you can produce things that matter. You can produce things that matter in the lives of young people, but young people have a lot of ideas about what is high utility for the rest of us as well. And so I think some of the things that you will see them talk about today are part of what they made and what they think about what matters. I want to give a couple of thank yous to begin. First of all, to Red Hat, because you have been an incredible partner, certainly beginning last year on City Hall Plaza, but this is in some ways fundamentally different and exponentially more awesome than last year. So I want to thank you. I want to thank the Private Industry Council, Boston Public Schools, especially BPS External Affairs, Makiba McCreary, and her team for what's been put together. Let me come back to Red Hat one more time because you were very flexible as partners. We came to you with a lot of ideas. Jesse from BPE, the Economic Development Team, Makiba and I, they were not well-formed ideas. We came to you with a lot of objectives. We wanted to accomplish everything under the sun, and you listened to it all. We even asked you to do some things that you don't normally do as a matter of practice, but at no point did you say that's impossible. And as a matter of fact, you said to me this morning, this is what open source work is about. We synthesize what we have available and we make something highly valuable out of it. And so you put up with us. So thank you. But I think as a result, we've created something incredible, and we've created an authentic learning experience, which is what our aim is for students in Boston Public Schools. An experience that you have to interact with people. You have to have real-world authentic experiences. You can't have experiences that are divorced from the people who are actually experiencing society's modern challenges. You have to get in the space and learn. Authentic learning is about community building. You guys started building community. We've got representatives from 4 schools in the room today. The Burke, where's the Burke? All right, let's hear it for the Burke. You can clap for yourself. We've got the Dearborn in the room. Where's the Dearborn crew? We've got Excel in the room. Raise the hand proudly. Shut up. There you go. Excel's in the house. And we've got the O'Brien. Where's the crew from the O'Brien? Very good, very good. So we want you to know that these are the kinds of experiences through our high school redesign work and through our work to make the city a classroom we want more students to have. We want you to understand that you're here because you belong here. You're entitled to everything this city has to offer, and we expect to see you in all of the places that decisions are made in this city, where innovation is happening in this city. So thank you for stepping into a new experience with us, and from what I've heard, it's been nothing but success for you. And so I want to quickly introduce somebody who is equally excited about the experience you had and about this partnership, our mayor, Martin J. Walsh.
Thank you, Ron. Ron said a lot, and I want to thank him for what he said. He left his notes here, so I'm going to steal them. We're excited as well, and I want to thank a couple people, and then I'll get into a quick talk, and we'll get to questions and answers in a little bit. I want to thank the school department. I want to thank Makiba as well for her great work, and everyone from the school department. I want to thank Neil Sullivan from the PIC, who's been a great partner in the city for a long time with the City of Boston and the Private Industry Council. I want to thank City Councilor Nitra Sabi-George, who's the chairwoman of the Education Committee, a former teacher who's really passionate about education issues, particularly high school, I think, because the fact that she has little ones in grammar school, but she's a high school teacher, so she's excited about that. Armando Carvalho, who's a state representative, who's also excited about education, and a partner at the State House. Red Hat, thank you. Moving to the city a little over a year ago, and amazing corporate citizen in the sense of what you do here. It was pretty awesome last year being in the trailer and seeing what's going on in the trailer, and when I walk into the space is unbelievable. Keel was talking outside a minute ago, and I walked in, I'm like, wow, this should be what our high schools look like. It should be not classrooms and what we do. We should be doing this in our high schools, and we might start something new here eventually with our high schools, but thank you, Red Hat. Thank you for your commitment to our city. Thank you for letting these young people the opportunity for them to experience something that when I was a young kid, we didn't get a chance to experience the same way. So I want to thank you for that, and thank you for choosing Boston. To the young people, you had an amazing experience about what life's all about. And being here this week, I know that you learned a lot. I know that you probably liked it. I know you had to get up in the morning early a little bit, right? Not sleep in every day, but it didn't matter. It was a beautiful week. So I want to congratulate you on this, because this is about how do we prepare our young people for the jobs of the future. As you look at your peers in each of the 4 schools that are here today, you are going to be the people that are going to be standing up here someday giving the speeches to young people. And you're going to be able to talk firsthand about opportunities that you experienced, things that I didn't experience like you did. But what happened for me was I got exposed to politics at a young age when I was in high school and before that. And I remember being taken over to a sign shop on the South Boston waterfront when Ed King was running for governor. I was a kid at the time. And they used to make the signs. You used to make your own signs. You'd paint them white with a board, and you'd pull the screen over, and you'd the blue and the red. What happened for me in that experience, that sparked something inside of me that said, I like politics. And as I grew up, even though when I was in high school and began to go to college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, because I was learning algebra, and I was learning geometry, and I was learning all these things that they think, well, I don't want to use this in my life because I don't know what I want to do. But I knew inside of me I had a burning desire to explore. My exploration happened to be politics. And today, that exploration in you could be politics. It could be something that you worked on here. It could be an idea that you have. And that's an important aspect, because when you think about school, when you go back to school next week, and some of you want to be here next week, and you don't want to be in school next week because you go back to what you think is the monotony of the classes and all things you're learning. That's a part of your journey. That's a part of getting to this point. That's a part of getting to a job like this, whatever job it is. It's about getting that understanding of high school and getting that down and keeping the dream of college alive. Now, there's no one in this room or in any of your schools that should ever say, we can't go to college, we can't afford it, or my parents came from another country and we don't know how to do it. My parents came from another country. My parents didn't understand the college system. All they knew is they wanted me to go to college. And when I went to college out of high school, I didn't get into Suffolk University, because when I was in high school, I didn't pay attention the way I should have in high school. So I had to go to Quincy Junior College for a couple of years. I went there for a year. And in that college, the experience for me was I realized, oh, I can do this work. Because in high school, I wasn't focused the way I wanted to be focused. And I did that work, and I got good grades. And then I went to Suffolk University. Then I made the huge mistake of dropping out of school. And I dropped out of college. And I dropped out of college because I wanted to make money. but I'm working in a job, working construction. I'm working a job that I don't care for. The only thing I liked about working construction was on Thursday was payday. And when I got the check, I'm like, oh, this is a nice check. And I bought a lot of things I didn't need. I bought a brand new car, which I'm 20 years old and drive around in a Monte Carlo, a nice little car. I got credit cards that I didn't need. I was buying stuff that you didn't need, and I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy because my life wasn't being fulfilled. Because you realize that. So what I did was I ended up going back to college. Ran for state representative, and the rest is history. There's more to the story, but my point is this. You have a unique opportunity. The feeling, if you enjoyed this experience, the feeling that you have today is the same feeling you can have the day you graduate college and leading up to that. You just continue to stay focused and work hard and take these experiences as other opportunities. Now, we all grew up in neighborhoods. I grew up in Dorchester. We have Dorchester kids here, Roxbury kids here, Hyde Park kids here, Mattapan kids here, Charlestown kids here, Southie kids here. What I miss? Rosendale kids, right? Eastie kids. What else I miss? All right. When you go back home and you hang on the corner and your friends that hung out all week long, the experiences you have and they have are two very different experiences. And if you look at that corner close enough, or those neighborhoods close enough, you're going to see guys my age hanging on that corner. And what they, at one point in their life was filled with dreams and hopes. But what happened was they stayed on the corner. And they stayed with the wrong situation. And they hung with each other and they were talking about what they're going to do someday and they never did. So take this experience, take this opportunity as an opportunity to be adventurous with what you want to do in life. If you didn't have a good time this week, and you said, well, this isn't for me, that's okay. But this is one aspect you can check off the box and say, okay, we did this one. Next time I'm going to try something different because my experience might be somewhere different. So my message is simple to you. This company, Red Hat, is looking for talented people. This company, Red Hat, had a chance to sit down with a bunch of kids this week, young people, not kids, young people, and think about who is the future. I guarantee you, they're not going to tell you, but I guarantee you they're going to write down somewhere that there is a person in this room, his name might be Sebastian, and he might go to the Dearborn, and he might be in 11th grade, and he's going to graduate next year, and we might want to think about Sebastian someday because he shows, at the age of 11th grade, shows the promise. Okay? Last thing I'll say, who likes sports? All right. When you're a manager of a sports team, whether it's a hockey team, or a football team, or a basketball team, or a soccer team, or ice skate, whatever it is, figure skate, whatever it is, they don't recognize the talent when somebody goes to college. They recognize the talent before that. That's what you are. You're athletes. You're athletes that are learning how to be able to perform. Well, your performers learning how to be able to perform on the big stage. And that's the opportunity you had this week. So you make me proud as mayor, and I'll tell you why it made me proud. Because last year a group of kids went to City Hall Plaza, they were in a trailer, and they did some work with Red Hat. The next year Red Hat came back and said, we want to do that again. If the experience wasn't a good experience, it wasn't a positive experience for the company, and it wasn't a positive experience for young people, they never would have come back. They said, oh, you know, man, thank you, you guys are great, we're going to do something else this year. That's not the case. So you're doing something right. So I want to thank you, congratulate you on a great week of work, I hope. And I'm going to sit down and take questions. We'll do some questions that are live. Somebody else come down. Yeah, you're up.
That's a tough act to follow. I'm an engineer, so I'm not used to this.
You're all right, Paul. Speak it up.
I want to thank all of you. You know, last year this CO.LAB program is really important for us. Boston was our inaugural kickoff for that last year. We went around to other cities in the country, and we're back again this year. It's had a profound experience on both me personally as well as the company. So I just want to thank the city, especially thank the students. We're here in Boston because of education, and that's why we're here. And this is where we, as a company, we're a company located in, we're in 60 countries around the world. Boston is where we take all our customers, all our big customers that want to come in and talk to us from every one of those 60 countries comes in here to talk to us about what we do. They talk to our engineers, they talk to our product managers, and that's what we do here. So education is really, really important. That's why we're here. This is where it starts. So it's been a great experience for us. We learn as much as you learn in this, if you can imagine that. So let's just keep it up. I mean, we've had a great relationship from when we moved here into the Seaport. The mayor and the city helped us tremendously, and I think this is just an extension of that relationship that continues to go. So thank you very much, students, the city, teachers, everything. We really, really appreciate this. I think it's been a great experience for all of us. So thank you very much.
Well, now it's me, I guess. So, my name is Jan Kolzer. I got to spend quite some time with the students here during the week, and it was amazing to see the enthusiasm, but also how they learned a lot of really new bleeding-edge technology around agile, Scrum, building Scrum teams, collaboration, how to solve problems better in teams was really, really exciting to see. You will see some really awesome presentations from them. We love to have young talent here. We learn as much from them as they hopefully learn from us. As part of this, we also hopefully will bring some of them back in summer. I think we have 3 summer jobs for high school students, and in addition to the university interns. So we are really looking forward to this, and I think some really cool work was done during the week. Applause to all the students who will now come up and present their work.
Everyone. So throughout the week, the students have been preparing lightning talks. So for each day, they've kind of been broken down into groups, and we've been telling them all along the way, we really want you to take notes on what you're learning, think about how you might apply those things once you leave CO.LAB, right? And so now we're going to invite each group up one by one to tell you more about that. So let's start with group 1.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yves Dear Joseph, and I'm from the O'Brien.
My name is Aziza Mohammed, and I am from O'Brien.
My name is Sebastian, and I'm from Georgia STEM Academy.
My name is Brenton, and I'm from Jeremiah E. Burke.
All right, so I'm going to start by giving a general overview of what we did on the first day. So on the first day, what we did was we came in and Jamie gave us essentially a general outline of what open source is and how companies like Red Hat, even though they make their products freely available to the public, they make a profit off of it by essentially teaching companies how to use those products. Then after that, we moved on to, as you see on the board, we prioritized why we came here. They asked us to rank from a scale of 1 to 4, why we came here, what's the most important. It went from learning about how people work in the IT industry to just having fun, and to just another one where just having this experience. Then after that, we learned about a general framework for how to produce something efficiently, about how people have different jobs within a company. There is the product owner who dishes out the task and also takes input from the shareholders in the company. And he decides which inputs are most important, which inputs that he just has to tell the shareholders that they just can't work upon. And then we applied that by building a Lego island.
So on the first day, we had a speaker named Mo Duffy. She's the UX designer at Red Hat. She is also an active person in the open source community. And she told us about taking risk, as in, so she was in college. She was going to get her doctorate, but instead of staying on the path her parents made for her, she decided to go on her own path and apply, and then go to New York, which is taking a really big risk because they didn't know that she was coming. So she went to New York to go to Red Hat and ask for an internship there, and she luckily got in.
I think he was confused. She came to Boston from New York to ask for this internship for the summer.
So now moving on to the second day, what we did was We got a general outline of electrical engineering, as you'll see on the board on the back, of how to wire up LEDs.
Oh, if you could.
And then after that, what we did was we hacked our packs and we added the LEDs on.
So for the second day, we had a speaker named Muhammad Ali, and he is the CEO of Carbonite, and he had an immigrant background, and he talked about how education helped him to achieve his goals and what he wanted to be. He was interested in technology, and he learned more about technology, not from school, but also from the people around him, and also experiencing new things by working for people who need programming for some small companies. And he shared with us that we should learn from outside school and from our communities, and as well as like from the internet. Now we have a big like open source Red Hat.
And then on the third day, what we learned was essentially how to market ourselves to companies, to highlight our best skills. And also not only that, but also we learned how to assess the cultures of companies to see whether we'd be a good fit or not. Because you can go to a company and they'll offer you a huge salary, but if you hate it there, you're going to be miserable.
So we had representatives from Hack Diversity come in. They were all from other countries. They came to America for better opportunities. So they had internships at Hack Diversity, and most of them had jobs, and they shared their experience with Hack Diversity and how their day-to-day life at where they work now. Some of them are still going to college, like going to college full-time and also working full-time, and how their time management and how that helps with their day-to-day life pretty much. And yeah.
And also I'd like to give an example of how the things we learned here could be useful. We were talking and Brenton mentioned that he took a basic engineering course during the summer, and how the diagrams that he showed us, that's what they learned on the first few days. Essentially learning about polarities and learning how to wire things up properly. And also about how the general framework they gave us for how companies build products efficiently can also be applied to any team that you work on. Learning how to prioritize things, what to work on. And sometimes that even to the people who are leading you, sometimes the tasks that they're dishing out, you just have to say no. But you can't just say no, you have to give a legitimate reason for why this would be a waste of time. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah.
That was great. So group one just gave a great overview of the time that we've spent together. Now the remaining three groups are going to do deep dives into each day. So please join me in welcoming group two.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Keith McFarland. I'm from the Burke. I'm a senior.
My name is Daniel Alonso. I'm from South Boston High School, which is also known as XL now. I think stupid, but besides that.
My name is Ileani, and I go to the Dearborn STEM Academy.
So, as Eve there said, on the first day, we did like a little Lego lab, which we had somebody come in, like, he had a vision, and we had to create the vision. So he told us that he wanted, like, basically a park, like amusement park on the island, and we had to use Legos and build a couple of stuff. We had mind mapping, which, like, we looked at the steps and said what was a goal, what was a no. We use Agile, which a lot of software companies use, like, to work in sprints, which were, like, for some companies it could take a week or a month to do a sprint, like, to, like, forecast what they're gonna do. We used that. We had Scrum Masters. Our Scrum Masters were basically like the mini boss that would tell us like what to do to like delegate the roles, would manage time and tell us what to do. So we built it with the Legos. We used a lot of collaboration to get stuff done. What we learned doing after playing with the Legos, we learned that failure is not actually bad, because after you fail a couple times, you actually learn what not to do the next time. Like, we failed because we took too many tasks in my group, so we couldn't finish it, and the next time doing a sprint, we learned that like a lot of communication gets stuff going, And we also learned that Agile could be used in our day-to-day lives. So for instance, if we get like a packet or a project in school, you could like map it out to say, all right, you could do this, we could do this. We could say, if this is the easier part of the task, we could do this first and we could do this last. That's what I took out of the LEGO Lab. Thank you.
That was great. I even heard someone whisper, Kiel, that was a good description of Agile. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, so our next group is going to tell us more about how the CoLab participants spent Wednesday. Where do I have group 3? There you are.
Okay. Hi. My name's Rakia Nur. I'm also from South Boston High.
I'm Helen Adeyemo. I'm from Jeremiah E. Burke. I'm a junior.
My name is Joshua Sabufu. I'm from South Boston High. I'm a senior.
Okay, I didn't know we were saying our grades, so I'm a junior. I'm a junior. What? No. Okay. All right. So on Wednesday, we did Hack Your Pack, which was basically we had like these little Gemma chips from Adafruit, and so okay. These tiny thingies. I don't know if you could see it from over there, but
Size of a coin.
yeah, it's basically a quarter. And then so I think D0 was the one that was like programmed to like fade in and out, and then ground is just regular power to the LED, so it just stays on. And then so we just played around with that, and we had to use that thread right there, which, yeah, it's conductive apparently, and we like stitched it into the chips and like into the backpack. Something we learned from that. Okay. So you see this little flap right there with the Red Hat logo? When I did mine, I wanted to use that and like make like little, okay. All right, like little dots here with the LED, right, for it to shine through. But then you don't want the chip sticking out because that's weird. So I wanted to put it back here, and then like I learned the flap doesn't open. You probably shouldn't use it. But I already started, so perseverance, I guess. So also I didn't want to start over. So I just like, I didn't want to restitch it, and I wanted it to be in the back. So I just like stitched giant loops of thread. The issue with that was thread, like we agreed upon, is conductive. So when they touch over, that messes with the polarity, and that could either cause your chip to short circuit or your LEDs to not work. So like we drew those like perfect schematics, and I had to mess it up. So afterwards, I took it home because it was like annoying me, and then I was like, okay, so it's when you take them apart, the two threadings, it lights up. So I just put like duct tape on the thread. It still worked, and it was like, that's great. And then I think when we got like our little intro into electrical engineering, he gave us like a little sheet with the code, and like we can modify it afterwards and like work with it, make it do different things. And then, yeah, we just made a backpack.
And on that note, we made a bag. We made this bag for the mayor. And we stitched a B, which stands for Beagle Slave. And this out.
Look, it's the wiring, okay?
Need some duct tape.
No, this one was wired properly. It's just, okay. Oh my God. There, bam. Look, just put some styrofoam in the back. It'll be great.
I'll take care of it. I'll go home tonight and do that.
Yeah.
blind LEDs on there. We had to draw that one a few times to figure out how to thread that one properly. All right, so finally, we're going to wrap up with Group 4, who's going to tell us how we spent our Thursday. Welcome, Group 4.
Hello, my name is Brian. I attend Jeremiah Burke High School.
Hello, my name is Kwang Nguyen, and I go to the John D. O'Brien.
Hello, my name is Cameron Joseph, and I go to the John D. O'Brien.
Hello, my name is Michael, and I also attend the John D. O'Brien.
Okay, so yesterday was Thursday, of course it was. Okay, so yesterday we focused on this thing called a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, team player aspects, and personal branding.
Yes. All right, so the first thing we did was find out what kind of team player we were, and we used this Signal Success packet to do this. So we had to take a survey to see which one best fit us, and me personally, I came out to be a task and results person. So the task and results team player usually get their work done really quickly, but we're also people that shouldn't be disrupted. We shouldn't have any changes done to the plan. And so a challenge for us is when things don't go according to the plan that we had already preset. Then there's the strategy and process team player. These people are very, very good at planning, and they're good for when we need to get something done and we need a route to do it. The communicator team player, they're also very good because they keep us connected. They make sure that everybody knows what they're doing. They make sure everybody's all okay, and they make sure that everything is just known. But another really important team player is the challenger. We want to get our work done, but we want to do it the best. So the challenger, they always try to take risks. They try to do things to get it just a little bit better or a lot better. And a challenge for them would be they might take a big risk that they can't handle, but that's how they are. So after the team player activity, we went on to the mindset activity. We thought about fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is somebody who doesn't necessarily think that they can do better than what they can, while a growth mindset person can go above. They believe they have to keep trying so they can better themselves. So somebody with a growth mindset, if they're not doing pretty well on something, they'll probably give up, they'll be sad about it. But a growth mindset person, they'll try to bring themselves back up, and they'll use this to continue to grow and learn, which is very important. And the final activity that we did was self-branding. We used this to talk about how we saw ourselves and how we wanted to be seen. You want to be intelligent, you want to be skillful. So we talked about how we want to express this, how we want to show that we're skillful. So we went through an activity where we would have to get 2 things that proved that we were this or that. And we used this to show our brand.
And so what we took out of this was generally how to classify ourselves. I think in regular life, we tend to say that we know who we are, but you're unable to really classify where we go in this particular group or how we would interact. And so with at least this exercise, although it was kind of tiring, honestly, on my side, it was still something important. Some way that for me, at least, to verbally understand that this is where I belong within this group, or how I'll be able to interact with this other set of groups. And also with the last activity with self-branding, it still kind of just reinforced this idea that what is my evidence for how I would be able to express myself or show to a client that this is who I am, weird and wonky.
So what we took away from this is that I should say everyone present in this room, that we should all strive to have a growth mindset. Because if we focus on having a fixed mindset, we won't be better than who we are yesterday. Also, with the team style, if we understand all those different styles, we can become more effective leaders, which then leads to less arguments within the group as well as higher efficiency of that group.
All right, so I hope now you have some understanding of how we've spent our week together. A couple things that the students may not even know, I may have said it a few times, I tend to talk a lot when I'm up here, is, I mean, they were presented trainings that we're still giving to professionals, to Red Hatters, to customers, right? Learning Agile through Legos has, up until this point, has been taught at conferences to professionals. The work they did with Signal Success, I mean, we're still doing this, right? As professionals, you're still doing how do I work in a team, right? Because you grow and continue to grow over time. CoLab for us, as Paul mentioned, and as I hope you've seen through the students being up here, is just such an important opportunity, not only for the students, but also for companies like Red Hat. So I'm glad that you're all here from our visiting companies. I'm glad you're all here from state and local representatives. And I hope you'll take time over lunch to talk to the students more and get to know them, because they've also been preparing personal lightning talks so they can tell you a little bit more about themselves. So to close this out, I want to welcome my friend Ron back up to the stage with some final words.
Sure. I'm usually not speechless, but I'm a little speechless given what I just saw, because it was that phenomenal. I think a few things that I want to say. I love learning from young people. So I've asked several of you over the course of the morning, how'd it go? And you know you have to ask young people about 3 times before you start to get to the insights and the truth. So it was kind of like, it was cool. But then you keep asking, and that's when Keel started walking us through what Agile actually is and what conductive material actually is. That's when Sebastian started to say, you know what, I'm not sure I like the professional skills training, but wait a minute, I've got some insights about why that's actually important. So thank you, Sebastian. I love that we had an experience that is hands-on. So learning fundamentally should not just be abstract, something that's distant, something that is foisted upon us. It's about, as Keel said, experimenting and failing and learning from that failure. There were no tests, there were no quizzes, but every one of these young people just demonstrated to you that they absorbed a lot in 4 days, and that they translated what they absorbed into being able to do a lot of things. So the question for us is, what's the work that we have to do to make learning look more like this on an ongoing basis? So I think we understand the why. There are a lot of whys here. We can make learning more powerful. That's why we do this. We are actually trying to improve STEM education. We got a demonstration of how we better do that. We also know that we are trying to expand and diversify our talent pipelines in Boston. This is one way to do it. So I think we can agree on the why. Now we have to figure out, how do we codify this experience? We have to create a playbook for one another so that we can do this again and again and again and again. So I'm going to ask the students, I'm going to ask Red Hat, everybody who's been a partner in this, let's think about what the playbook looks like. We want to get better here in this partnership, but we've also got to teach others how to do this. The last question for us is, how are we going to scale this? So that doesn't just mean, Red Hat, how are you going to go bigger? It also means, to our partner organizations in the room, Rulala, Wayfair, other folks, how are you going to take on the task of operationalizing the playbook? And you've got to be a part of creating that playbook as well. When we get 1 more partner, 3 more partners, 5 more, we get to scale. We get more students involved in the kind of learning that we want them involved in. So as you talk to students, as you talk to the Red Hat team, ask yourselves these questions about how we're going to make sure we create the playbook and how we're going to get to scale. I want to assume already that you will be partners. So you have signed up by walking through the door. And we will make sure that we follow up with you to keep you at the table. Also know, students, we've got a lot to think about in terms of how we're going to improve this and what this looks like citywide. You have got to be equals as the partner in that, as a part of the partnership in that design process. Aziza, raise your hand, please. So Aziza took it upon herself to start collecting feedback about what this week has been about. So Aziza is going to share that feedback. We're going to take it very seriously and think about what the improvement is and how it informs the playbook. So Aziza, thank you for taking the initiative. Are we taking questions or what's? We're going to move right along. So I want to thank you all for being here, and please enjoy the time with the students. Students, you're inspirational. Thank you so much. Mayor, you crushed it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, my bag.